Hello everyone and welcome back to the Part-Time Gamers YouTube channel. I am Welchie, one half of the Part-Time Gamers, and welcome back to Part-Time Gamers Weekly, the weekly show where we go through all the hottest topics in video games. We talk about our Part-Time Gamers Game Club Game of the Month. Still working on figuring out a better way of saying that. And yeah, just talk about what we've been playing, answer any questions that you may have and stuff like that. So yeah. This week we will be talking about the PlayStation acquisition of Bungie. We'll also be talking about Prey, our Part-Time Gamers Game Club for January, sorry. We're going to be reviewing that one today and then picking the game for February. And yeah, that's it. So without further ado, let's get into topic of the week. Topic of the week. Okay, so topic of the week is going to be all about PlayStation buying Bungie, acquiring Bungie. So obviously 2 weeks ago we discussed that Xbox had acquired, or Microsoft had acquired Activision Blizzard, which was huge for like almost $70 billion. This PlayStation news isn't as big. I'm not going to make as big of a deal of it. I won't be as long talking about it. But it's still big news. It's still worth talking about and what it means for PlayStation and Bungie, and obviously the rest of the market. So PlayStation have acquired Bungie, I was about to say Activision, PlayStation have acquired Bungie for $3.6 billion, which when compared to the Xbox acquisition of Activision, that is hard to say. It's pennies really. It's like, so it's barely, it's like what, 5% of what they paid. So it's nowhere near the size. But it's one developer. Activision is a massive publishing house with loads of developers within it. This is one developer / publisher. They publish their own games, but they're obviously Bungie, for those that don't know, are the creators and developers of the Destiny series. Not originally, but they were previously known for the Halo series, which is crazy. They used to be owned by Microsoft. They then split with Microsoft in about 2007, I think. Just after Halo 3, and then they still did ODST and Reach with Xbox exclusively, but they weren't under the Microsoft umbrella. And then after that, they never did Halo again and moved on to Destiny. They had a deal with Activision for 10 years with Destiny, and that expired in 2017, I think. That seems too late, maybe 2019. I can't remember. So they haven't been independent for long. I say independent, they were under Activision, now they're here in PlayStation. So it's 3.6 billion. What does that mean? What does that bring to Sony? So basically they've said that they're not going to be an independent, not an independent, but they're not going to be an exclusive studio. So they will be under the Sony umbrella, but they won't be under the PlayStation Studios umbrella. So the likes of Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Sucker Punch, Sony Santa Monica, Bend Studio, all those likes. They are PlayStation studios who will make PlayStation exclusive games. Destiny or Bungie are being treated slightly differently. They're going to carry on to kind of be independent and be a third-party publisher, and will have the option to publish games wherever they want to publish them. That's interesting. That's a very interesting concept. One thing we've got to remember, if you remember from last time when we spoke about Xbox, Sony are the top two in the competitors in the gaming space, with Tencent. I think Tencent are top, but it's basically Sony and Tencent at top, and now Microsoft after Activision will be third. So they have to be a bit more careful. They will be treated a bit more harshly if they try buying big developers and taking them away from other people. So there could be, my guinea pig's trying to escape, I think. Hold on. No, he's being okay. Sorry about that. The governing bodies will look at PlayStation much more strictly than they would at Xbox or Microsoft, just because PlayStation are already a massive, well, the second biggest market in the gaming space, whereas Xbox and Microsoft were a bit lower. Their deal brings them closer to the top of the market, whereas Sony buying Bungie could take them away and farther away and monopolize as such. It's definitely not, that definitely would not be the case. Bungie wouldn't make them the, I mean, technically, in my opinion, they are the best, Sony, but it would still be a fair market, I think. But I think from them keeping Bungie as a multi-platform studio, it allows them to not be looked at as harshly, and it still won't be scrutinized as much. So there's that. That could be one reason, and probably is half the reason. But I also think the reason is that Destiny is, and I know this is kind of contradicting to what we said about Call of Duty a couple of weeks ago, but Destiny is a multi-platform game. You kind of, it's on PC, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation. You don't associate Destiny with a console. You associate it with, it's a platform in itself. And I think Bungie wanted to keep that. So they wouldn't have wanted Destiny 3, for example, to go console exclusive or PS4 exclusive, PS5 exclusive. But I also think this acquisition isn't about having exclusive games as such. Yes, there may be some. There's, well, not Destiny. I keep calling them Destiny. Bungie are making a new IP, so they may be working on Destiny 3. They're obviously working on Destiny 2 DLC 2 as well. Destiny 2 DLC 2. Wow, I'm struggling with my words today. Because there's one coming out soon called The Witch Queen. Might even be this month, February. I think it is. But they're also working on new IP, and there's a chance that that will be PlayStation exclusive. I just think the Destiny franchise will stay multi-platform, and I think it'll benefit everyone, including Sony, because they'll get the profits from that. But yeah, I think that there's definitely potential for new IP to be exclusive to PlayStation, and there's also obviously the potential for Destiny 3 to come early to PlayStation. Say the beta will only be on PlayStation, or the game releases first on PlayStation for like a month or something, or DLC comes first, or they get extra benefits. That's obviously going to happen, which is all great and well and good. That doesn't necessarily bring everyone over to PlayStation, just like all the Destiny fans, but it will. The die-hard Destiny fans now will want to play on PlayStation because it's multi-platform anyway, but they might get the benefits of being on PlayStation first. So that does help. But I do think this acquisition is more about the talent. They want the people at Bungie, sorry, to make and help them make better multiplayer games. When you think about PlayStation, what are they known for? What are they best at? It's making massive, incredible, not even massive, but incredible, immersive I am really struggling with my words. Incredible third-person action games. God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, Returnal, Infamous, you name it. All of these series, they're massive single-player experiences, which are critically acclaimed. They're story-heavy, story-focused. And then if you look at multiplayer side, PlayStation don't have anything. Okay, the Uncharted games have multiplayer, but they're not. The people still play them, but not in their thousands. Probably it's probably hundreds. There might be the odd thousand every now and then. But Last of Us had great multiplayer, but we're still waiting on the Last of Us 2 multiplayer. I imagine Bungie will help them with this. God of War doesn't. Horizon doesn't. Ghost of Tsushima Legends was good, but again, I doubt there's that many people playing that anymore. So they don't have that massive multiplayer experience. Look at Xbox, they've got Halo. Obviously Halo Infinite's just come out, but even Halo 5 people were still playing that years down the line, because Halo is just it's well known for being a multiplayer experience. Gears of War, okay, not many people playing Gears 5 at the moment, but Gears is known for its multiplayer. And I can't think of any more on top of my head, but they've just gone and acquired Call of Duty. They're just more known for that multiplayer side of things, but Xbox's weakness is the single player, and you can see them trying to fix that by bringing in Bethesda. So both companies are trying to fix their weak points by acquiring developers that will help them. And I think Sony acquiring Bungie will help them deliver better multiplayer experiences. I think, and they've come out and said that they are focusing on live services. They want games like Destiny, but PlayStation exclusive ones. Or maybe they don't even want to be exclusive. Maybe they want them to be on PC as well. Because when you've got multiplayer games like that, you want more people. You want as many people you can reach as possible. Halo Infinite's on Xbox and PC, which helps bring in another 500,000 people or whatever. Maybe PlayStation are going to go down that route of okay, Last of Us 2, the campaign, you have to come to PlayStation to play that. If you want to play the multiplayer, you can be on PC if you want. That could happen, and I think what they're getting when they get Bungie is the expertise in these live service products. Destiny and Destiny 2 were extremely successful live service products. They know what they're doing, and I think that they want them to accelerate their progress to be more multiplayer focused. I really have to stress, I really think that they're not going to steer away from single player. I just think they're going to have dedicated teams to multiplayer of their IP. So I don't think God of War will have anything multiplayer. I might be wrong. But there has been reports, and confirmed reports, Horizon Zero Dawn developer Guerrilla Games have been hiring for multiplayer projects. Same at Sucker Punch. Same at Insomniac. That's 3 developers. That's Horizon Zero Dawn, that's Ghost of Tsushima, and that's Spider-Man or Ratchet and Clank. What can they do multiplayer wise? Is it going to be something completely different, or are they going to use the IP and make it multiplayer? Ghost of Tsushima, they got Legends. Are they going to make apologies? Are they going to make Legends a standalone experience for Ghost of Tsushima 2 when that comes out? Will Ghost of Tsushima 2 come out, and then a few months later they're like, oh, and here's a free-to-play Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer game that's available on PC and PlayStation. Same with Spider-Man. Will they make like I don't know how they do Spider-Man, but maybe Ratchet and Clank you can make multiplayer some way. Spider-Man, I guess you could make it almost like DCU online. Hold up, I just had a massive thought. What about if they just made this massive MMO similar to DC Universe Online, but for Marvel? When you think about Marvel at the moment, they're going with Insomniac. What if Insomniac, or all the developers, are teaming together to make this massive Marvel multiplayer experience on the PlayStation? That is something to think about. Is that happening? That would be insane. Imagine that dropping in a PlayStation showcase later this year. Oh, that's got me excited anyway. And I'm not even a massive fan of Marvel. But yeah, I do think this Bungie, when I first saw this announcement and they said they're going to carry on publishing wherever they want to, on Xbox, PC, whatever, I was like, so why are you doing this? But then when you read into what their plans are, or supposed plans are, and look at Bungie, what they do and what they can bring to PlayStation, I do think they bought them to accelerate their multiplayer offerings. Obviously, Ghost of Tsushima Legends was a good start. Last of Us Factions has been great. That's like 8 years old now. The Uncharted multiplayers are fun, but they're they don't last long. I think bringing in Bungie will help them to fine-tune these multiplayer experiences and give PlayStation what they want. They want the best of both worlds. They don't just want to be known for the single-player experiences. While they are the best in the business, there's no doubt about that. They're the best in the business at single-player experiences. They now want to complement that with fantastic multiplayer experiences. And I, for one, want to see, and I don't even like Smash Ultimate, but I would love to see a PlayStation version of it. All the PlayStation characters, Kratos against Ellie, Joel against Spider-Man, Ratchet against Aloy. I don't even want it in a Smash format. I want it in like a Mortal Kombat format. Maybe not, they won't do Mortal Kombat because it's a bit too brutal, but Street Fighter. Imagine a fighting game like Street Fighter, but just full of all the PlayStation mascots. How cool would that be? That's what I want. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's what I want. And that would be a great multiplayer game. Let me just say that. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to dwell on this too long because it's not as big as the Activision acquisition, and we've got to talk about Prey still. So yeah, massive news, big acquisition from Sony. This is also worth noting, this is not in response to the acquisition that Xbox made. These kind of deals take months and months and months to get across the line. So they've been planning this for a while. I bet they might have even planned to announce it earlier, but the Xbox thing just kind of shot them in the ass a bit. And I think there's going to be more acquisitions. I don't think it stops here. I think this was one to accelerate their multiplayer, but I still think they're going to want to bring in more studios to help with multiplayer as well, but also a few more existing IP they can bring in, or just talented studios. Whether that be Capcom, probably a bit of a big ask, but that'd be my dream. I say my dream. I'm happy for Capcom to stay as they are because they're doing fantastically with Resident Evil. But for that to be exclusive to Sony would be a massive bonus for Sony. I think the most likely is Konami. Konami aren't really making games anymore, and they've got IP like Silent Hill and Metal Gear, which are just sitting there doing nothing. Those IP are kind of well known with Sony, so I think Sony will want to snap them up before Xbox do. So there's that. And the Square Enix, again, I think it's a bit of a big ask, but maybe they'll go for Square Enix. They've had a good relationship with Sony in the past. Making Final Fantasy a PlayStation exclusive again would be huge, but we'll have to see. But I think there's going to be more acquisitions, probably from both parties. I think Microsoft will wait until next year at least, because this Activision one is so big. If they're going to make any new ones, it's going to be smaller studios. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So that's the Bungie news. Now let's move into the Part-Time Gamers Game Club.
The Part-Time Gamers Game Club.
Also, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about that little tune that I made for this Part-Time Gamers Game Club section. And I forgot to mention as well, obviously, let me know in the comments what you think about the Bungie acquisition from Sony. But yeah, Part-Time Gamers Game Club. It's time to talk about Prey. Prey was our Part-Time Gamers Game Club game of the month for January. And what a great pick. I'm going to hold my hand up and say I've made a great decision there. If you remember, it was between that and Anthem. I'm sure I would have enjoyed Anthem, but not as much as I have enjoyed Prey. Prey is a fantastic video game. So get straight off right about, there will be spoilers here, but not mainline like big spoilers. I'm not going to tell you how the game ends. I'm not going to say every single detail, even though it's quite hard to spoil anyway. But I'll be talking about things that might spoil the experience for you if you wanted to just experience it for yourself. If you haven't been playing along with this, or if you're new to the channel and just hearing this, then you may want to just pause this video and come back to it another time once you've beaten Prey, or just skip quite a way down the video, maybe another 10 minutes or so, and then I should be done talking about it. But yeah, Prey. Prey is a fantastic game. The opening 40 minutes, which you can see on this channel if you go back on the videos, I uploaded the first 40 minutes of the game, was fantastic. It set the scene, it made you so interested in the story, the world, and wanted you to find out more. So again, as I said, spoilers, but you wake up, you get on a helicopter, you go to this kind of skyscraper, and you're told you're doing a few tests. And at the end of this test, shit goes down, stuff goes wrong, and there's an alien creature which kills a load of people. Then you get kind of like gassed. They gas you for some reason. And then you wake up, you're back in the room that you was in the first time. And everything is exactly like it used to be. But this time when you leave your room, there's a dead person outside. And that concerns you. You get a phone call and you know that you've been told that you need to escape. And you escape by smashing your window. You try and get out the door, it doesn't work, but you smash the window. And it turns out you're not in this like massive skyscraper flat. As soon as you smash that window, you're in like a set. People have been observing you for however long. And that really interested me straight away. I was like, hold up, this is like some simulation kind of shit. And the story progresses from there, and it's fantastic. It keeps you wanting to know more, what is going on this ship. Why was you being observed? What's going on? So yeah, the premise of this game is it's a first-person shooter, I guess, but you also can have powers if you want. I chose to go down one route. So basically, you have human powers or you have these alien powers. So the aliens on this are called Typhon, so the Typhon powers. I chose to just take the human abilities, which I kind of regret because I think, by the sounds of it, when you read the descriptions, the Typhon abilities sound really cool. But it's made me want to play the game, literally beginning to end again at some point, because I want to play through it with those Typhon abilities. There is an achievement for doing a whole playthrough as just human and a whole playthrough as just Typhon abilities. So that's why I'm going to do that as well. And that's why I chose to stick to just human. But it's really fun. So as a human ability guy, I could upgrade things like my hacking, my repairing. It's kind of quite RPG-ish in that way, where you improve your hacking, you improve your repair ability, you improve your stamina, you improve your, you unlock certain things so you can upgrade your weapons to a higher level, stuff like that. And you do those by finding neuromods. And what neuromods are is you stick it in your eye, and it basically, I don't think it's a drug, but it's a modification to your brain to unlock the potential. So they give the example that they could teach people to play instruments just by doing that, and all of a sudden they're a professional guitarist. It's basically brain modification, and they're taking that from these aliens, this Typhon technology, and that's what was experimented on, and that's why he was being observed and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really cool. The Typhon, the enemies are fucking pretty scary, you know. I'd always heard that Prey was that kind of, it's not a horror game, but it's like spooky. It's got like almost like a not psychological, but like a thriller vibe. It's scarier than I think people say. It's definitely not horror. It's not like an Outlast. It's not like a Slender Man or anything like that. But it's scary enough, and it's more Okay, sorry guys. I'm not going to say her name again, but the Alexa version of Apple just come up on my iPad, and yeah, that's the whole story. Happens every week at the moment that I do this video. I don't know why I didn't say her name. Anyway, I've lost what I was talking about, but basically, yeah, the enemies are scarier than I expected, and luckily that's why I was going. It's more stress. So the game is hard. I should point that out if you haven't played it. The game is hard. It's not Demon Souls hard. It's not like Bloodborne hard. It's not Souls like hard, but it is difficult. The enemies aren't easy to kill. Once you upgrade your weapons, it gets easier, but there are some enemies which are still tough to kill, the bigger ones, and it makes you stop and think about every situation, which is good, and this game wants you to do that. It isn't like a game where it wants you to go into a room, kill everything, go into the next room, kill everything. That's not the purpose of this game. This purpose of the game is to obviously complete it, but do it your own way and do it the best way that you think should be. This situation should be handled. If there's a room full of enemies, you might find another way to get around it. You might go in there and, I don't know, find a trapdoor and then go under it and walk under them. It's not as always obvious as that, but that's what I'm kind of mean. There's different ways to approach every situation, and you have a good selection of weapons. My weapon wheel wasn't even complete when I finished the game, so I'm wondering how many weapons and stuff I missed. I can't imagine they would have just left like a quarter of the thing. I wonder if it's also the Typhon abilities that maybe would have fit there, some of them. But yeah, I didn't have everything. I didn't have the weapon wheel filled up. So there's obviously a lot of stuff I probably missed on this game. That's the thing. I definitely not experienced everything on this game because I didn't find everything. I didn't find every room. And it's also the kind of game where there's also other survivors and you can interact with them and they give you side missions. There's not many other survivors. It's most of the time you're playing this game on your own, but kind of just exploring. And you can kill these people anytime you want, if you wanted to. You don't have to listen to them and take their side missions. You can just kill them. I didn't. There was one person I accidentally killed. He was in space. If I didn't say this, set on a space station. Aliens, you kind of got that. But he was like outside, like in the surrounding area of this ship, and I was out there, and he asked for help, and he wanted me to get him out, basically. But what he meant was to get him back onto the ship. So he's in a container, get this container back onto the ship, then open it up so he can just walk into the ship. I accidentally opened it up in space, so he just died instantly because he ran out of oxygen. So I accidentally done that. But that's the kind of thing. I later found out that he's actually a relatively important character. He's a surgeon, and you can use him. It can completely change your ending. But I killed him straight away accidentally. I say straight away, it's halfway through the game, and I just didn't see anything that he had to do with the game at all. He was just dead to me. So it's crazy that's the kind of thing when I say you can approach the game however you want. You can go through the game and kill everyone and just focus on getting out alive yourself, or you can help as many people as you can. But yeah, I found the game to be stressful, but not too much to the point where I didn't want to play. It was just enough that I wanted to keep playing. Whenever I found an enemy, I was like, shit, what do I do here? Rather than like a lot of games where you come across an enemy, you just shoot them and get rid of them. And it's kind of, a mundane task, is that the right word? This was more like, right, this is this enemy, what am I going to do? So For example, there's an enemy called a phantom, which is like the second form. So the mimics are like the spiders of the game, and they can mimic into any object. So this headphone case, it could be that. So you go to pick it up and it ends up jumping in your face, that kind of thing. That scared me a couple of times, not too many. You end up getting a piece of equipment which shows you hidden mimics. Anyway, the phantoms, there's like the standard phantom, which is just basically a tool mimic, which are the easiest of the enemies other than mimics to kill. Then you've got variations of the phantom. You've got basically a fire one, an electric one, and what I would call a psychic one. And each of those enemies are weak to different weapons, different abilities, different grenades. So every time you're like, right, I need to use this grenade, then him. And if they're all together, you're like, shit, I need to just either avoid this situation or take one out, then take the other out. Or is that just a completely different way to get to my objective? And it makes you stop and think. It makes you strategically plan out what you're going to do to these enemies. And yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and it really did keep me wanting to play. Every time I turned my Xbox on, I wanted to play Prey, which is a really good thing considering I've got Game Pass. At the moment, Game Pass has so many games out there that I want to play, but I was like, no, I want to play Prey. I want to beat this, not just for this review, not just for the Part-Time Gamers Game Club, because I was genuinely having a fantastic time. And that doesn't always happen with games. Sometimes you play a game and you're like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying this, but I'm not involved, I'm not invested. But I really was in this one. And I wasn't surprised because I've heard great things, but it also didn't perform that well critically. I guess it kind of did, but definitely not sales-wise. So I was a bit shocked at how good it was. Having played Arcane's other game, Dishonored, which I also liked, I prefer Prey. Prey had a better story, which kept me going. I can see why people would like Dishonored more, because it's a bit more stealth-orientated and a bit more arcadey. This one felt much more realism and stressful. I was never stressed playing Dishonored. When you're trying to stay stealthy, it can be a bit stressful, but this was very much like, these enemies are scary, they're difficult to kill, what am I going to do in this situation? But yeah, it was super fun game. I loved exploring the ship, it was amazing. You visit places and come back to places quite a lot, but that didn't bother me. I didn't mind having to come back to places. And it wasn't empty, there'd be a new enemy there. It wasn't like, oh, you've cleared out that room, it's safe forever. It wasn't safe forever. Yeah, and there were so many moments where I would come across an enemy and go, nope, I am not taking you on right now, and I'd fuck off the other way. Especially if I was exploring. This game really rewards exploring. I think I said it last week or the week before, that when I was talking about how difficult the game was, half of that problem was just your level of ammunition. And especially at the beginning of the game, I was struggling with ammunition. I was like, I have not got enough. Towards the middle and towards the end, I had more, and it was more manageable. You're able to like manufacture your own ammunition as long as you've got the right parts, and that made it more manageable. But every situation was still stressful. It's just I was actually managing to stressfully overcome it, rather than towards the beginning I was like, it's probably too hard for me because I'm dying a lot. But nevertheless, I had a great time. I'm trying to think of what else I can say about this game. Visually, it's very good. It's not a Last of Us 2, it's not a God of War, but it's an Xbox One game, but I've played on Series X, so it's got the benefits of like FPS boost and whatnot. It felt really good to play, good to look at. Definitely the best game ever to look at, but it was great. Love the enemy designs. I thought the voice acting was quite good from the other characters. I guess you technically do hear yourself speak, but not that often. I was happy with the story. There's 3 different endings, like official endings you can get, but then you can end each one differently. It's hard to explain, but basically there's 3 different outcomes, but you can get to that loads of different ways. I've experienced 2 of them. One of them is like it's not an official ending, but it is. I don't really want to spoil that one, but and there's 2 real official endings. I haven't got the other one, but I can guess what's going to happen. It's literally the opposite of what my ending was. And I was happy with the ending. And the little twist at the end was actually quite surprising. I should have guessed it when I got my first fake ending. I should have guessed it. But when I got the official ending and saw it, I was like, oh shit, that's actually interesting. It's still... Don't get me wrong, it's not the best story ever. I wouldn't compare it to The Last of Us or the God of Wars, but it was really engaging, and it's just so interesting, and it makes you want to know what the fuck is going on this ship. What has happened? Why am I being observed? And just what the hell has happened? But no, I think that's going to be it for this review. Basically, I would highly recommend people try this game. As I said, it's on Game Pass. It's going to be on Game Pass forever at this point because it's Bethesda. Highly recommend you at least try it. As I said, it's difficult, so it won't be for everyone, and it can be scary at times and stressful. So again, not for everyone. So I can probably understand why it didn't do as well as other games, but I do recommend trying it, especially if you've got Game Pass. It took me 20 hours to beat, and that wasn't doing everything possible. So I was pretty happy with the length. I was to the point where I was like, I could probably done, if it lasted another 5 hours, I'd have been like, that's a good amount as well. It wouldn't have been too much. I think 20 hours is a very good sweet point. 30 hours would have been a bit too long for this game, I think. So I think it did very well. But again, it could have lasted that long. It's just I didn't get it to last that long. And I do want to play it again another time. Not at the moment because too many games, but playing with the Typhon abilities. If I had to recommend it, I would say maybe mix it up if you don't care about achievements and get in the 100% playthrough with Human and Typhon. If you don't care about achievements, then mix it up, make the most of both. You can make your own neuro mods, which are the upgrades, but eventually they run out and you have to go. There's a side mission where you can like start making them again. I never actually did that side mission. It was always like, oh, I'm going to do this mission and then I'm going to go and do that side mission so I can make those upgrades again. But I just never got around to it because every side mission and every mission that I was getting was so interesting. That's another point. The side missions were genuinely interesting in this game. There's a lot of games where side missions can be tedious, can be boring. This is one of the best games for side missions I think I've ever played. And that is high praise because there are games out there which do it well. But no, this game was genuinely interesting and the missions were genuinely fun to play, the side missions. So that's really high praise. And overall, the whole game was just fantastic. I can't say it's the best game ever, and I'm going to give it a rating in a minute, but what can I say bad about it? I don't know really what I would say is bad about it. Because I can't even say the difficulty is better because it wasn't like too hard to overcome. It was easier than a Souls game. The stress can be seen as negative for some people, but it's part of it's what they want you to feel. It's not like it was stress because it was annoying. Like I don't know how to explain that, but it wasn't like when you was dying, it was because you was not doing it. It wasn't the game being a dick to you. It was like, no, use a different weapon or try a different way. It wasn't like, you couldn't blame the game, you know what I mean? Like if you can see the shit go on FIFA, you can kind of blame the game sometimes, but in this you can't. Bad things about this game, I don't know, which is weird because I can't then say it's not the perfect game. There's nothing bad about it, but it's not. There's ways it can improve, I guess, but on top of my head right now, I'm just thinking about it so fondly. But yeah, as a rating, for those of you that remember from our first Part-Time Gamers Game Club, Mortal Shell, we're going to be rating these games with the PlayStation trophy system. So bronze for games where I wouldn't recommend at all. Silver are good games. Play them if you think it sounds like your thing, but don't like. I wouldn't call it a great game. Gold for great games. Some of the best that the industry has to offer, and you should definitely try them. And platinum for the game of the year, game of the best game ever, kind of top tier, which I'm going to really try and save for the top tier games. For an example, God of War 2018 would fit in that bracket easily. Where am I going to put Prey? I'm going to put it in gold, but with a caveat that this game was close to platinum. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this game. Hopefully you can tell from this review that I've really enjoyed it. I'm not a professional reviewer, so I probably don't get my points across as well as the IGN folks and stuff, but hopefully I get better at it as we go along. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. I think it's a fantastic game. I want to play it again, which can only speak volumes of how good this game is, especially because it's a 20-hour experience roughly. And yeah, the reason it's not got platinum, and it honestly, if we said that platinum was 90 rated and above, or 9 out of 10 and above, this would be like an 89 out of 100, 8.9. It is close. I really do love this game. But when I think about the games I would put in the platinum category, and then look at Prey, I'd say it's not quite there. Maybe once I've had some time to think about it a bit more, I'll know why it's not quite there. But for example, God of War, I know I could turn it down. I'd really want to play it if I had time, and I would love it. Prey, since I've beaten it, and I know I want to play it again at some point, and I've seen it there, and I'm like, you know, I don't want to play this right now because I've beaten it and I'm satisfied with my experience. Whereas God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us, I play them pretty quickly in succession, straight after each other. I guess that's one thing. It's not enough because that's probably more I know the game's stressful. I don't know, but it's not quite at that God of War platinum tier level, but it's very close. It's the first gold we're given. So just look in here. Sorry, I've got a list here. So we've only obviously done 2 games, 2 months. We've done December 2021, which was Immortal Shell, which I gave a silver, and then January 2022 we've done Prey, which is a gold. So 1 in the gold, 1 in silver, none in platinum, none in bronze. Hopefully we don't get any bronzes, but I'm sure we will at some point. But yeah, that is Prey. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you've been playing Prey, what you think about it. If you played it before this, what you think about it as well. Are you able to tell me what you think isn't so good about it, or do you think it should have been platinum? Do you think it's good enough to be in that top tier? Let me know. Next month's game, I was tossing a few options up. Oh, that sounds wrong. I was considering a few different options for this game for February. For February. And what I wanted was a shorter experience, and that's because on Sunday the 6th, I'll hopefully be getting Sifu. I'm just waiting for the reviews to come out before I fully commit to it. And then on the 18th, I'm getting Horizon Forbidden West. And then the week after that, Elden Ring comes out, which I might be getting. I don't know yet. But there's just too many games. Horizon Forbidden West is going to be a massive game. It's going to take up the whole second half of my February, basically. And Sifu probably up until then, unless it's shit. So I didn't want a massive game like Prey. I would not have been able to play Prey this month. I wouldn't be able to fit it in. So I want a shorter experience. I've chosen to go with The Medium. Now, The Medium is a horror game, but from what I've heard, it's not that scary. I think it's more of like a psychological thriller. Medium is a game that came out on Xbox Series X about a year ago as an timed exclusive for Xbox. It's now on PlayStation as well. I've picked it because it's on Game Pass and I want to play it, and apparently it can be done in 8 to 10 hours. So I'm hoping to get it done in the month of February. So yeah, The Medium will be the game for this month, and yeah, hopefully it'll be a good game. It's probably actually the one I'm worried about the most out of the first 3, because I think it averaged like a 60 something on Metacritic. So I'm not expecting the highest of scores, but hopefully it is hopefully it's a good game. We'll review it at some point. I don't really know when. Looking at the schedule, I mean, we've got Sifu coming out, Horizon coming out. It depends what happens with how I split my time between these games, but I've penciled the review for The Medium in for the week commencing 7th of March. It may happen before that, it may happen the week after that. But basically around then will be the Medium review. So yeah, if you want to play along, download it on Game Pass or get it on PlayStation. You have to buy it, but and then we'll review it in a month's time and pick the next game at that date as well. So yeah, that's been our Part-Time Gamers Game Club section. Quickly moving on to what we've been playing. What have I been playing? I've Prey, obviously. I had the Xbox app open. I still haven't touched my PlayStation 5, or not I've touched it, but I haven't played it in almost 2 months at this point. I think the last day I've played it was like the 11th or 12th of December. We're now the 2nd of February. So the Xbox Series X has everything to say about that. I think I would class myself now as an Xbox gamer, I think. I really do. And it's all because of Game Pass. In a month's time, this could change if they announce Spartacus and it's amazing. But right now, I will play my games on Xbox unless it's an exclusive, which is on PlayStation. At the moment, PlayStation is just my console for exclusives. So yeah, at the moment, I would say I'm an Xbox player who plays PlayStation when the big games come out, Horizon, Sifu. So anyway, what I've been playing, I have played obviously Prey. I've played a little bit more of Nobody Saves the World. It's actually getting better as I'm going in, which is good. I'm worried now that I'm not going to play it for a long time because of all these games coming out. So it probably won't be in my Game of the Year discussion at the end of the year, but it's definitely fun. It's definitely enjoyable. But yeah, it's probably not going to be in that discussion. Played a bit more Halo Infinite campaign. I know I've beaten the campaign, but there's like side stuff you can do, so I just do that every now and then. And a bit of multiplayer. I've gone off the multiplayer, not because I don't like it, just because I've been playing Prey so much. And other games, so I just haven't been playing it as often as I was, but I still come back to it every now and then. If I want to play something multiplayer, I would pick Halo at the moment. A bit more Rainbow Six Extraction. Played a bit with Scott. I can't remember if I mentioned that last week or not, but I played a bit with Scott. And I've been playing solo, and it's actually really fun solo as well, which I'm surprised at. So I'm playing some of that. I'm really enjoying that game, actually. At the moment, if I had to pick a Game of the Year from today, it would be Rainbow Six Extraction, because I'm having a lot of fun with that. But I am very doubtful if it will win it for me. But the game I spent my most time on at the moment is Hitman 3. I just beat it last night on stream, on Twitch, the main campaign of Hitman 3, and I loved that game. I'm kind of sad that I didn't get it last year and play it then, because it might have actually done well in my Game of the Year discussion last year. But it's such a fantastic game. It is so fun to play. There's 6 main levels from Hitman 3, but then you also get all the levels from Hitman 2 and Hitman 1, which I haven't gone back to yet. But the Hitman 3 levels are fantastic. Everyone seems to love the second level the most, which is the Dartmoor level in England. It's a very good level. It's a very good story, that level. That's not so, it's a very good mission. It's basically like a murder mystery. It's literally Cluedo in Hitman. It is fun. But my favourite is the first level, Dubai. I just love the Dubai levels kind of setting. I just think it's amazing. I think it's probably the one I've played the most as well, because I've gone and done like extra challenges there. So maybe it's because I know it the most. Maybe if I started focusing on a Dartmoor one, I'd enjoy it more. But I also find it easier, the Dubai one. I know, like, it's probably also why I like it more. But yeah, it's so good. And obviously, beating the campaign is great. But what I like about Hitman is going and trying to do the separate challenges that they have. So, for example, last night when I beat the campaign, I went back to the Dubai level and I tried to poison one of the targets with poisonous dinner, and I managed to do it. And watching them die that way is really cool. Just for example, on this Dubai level, there's a way, I've not done it yet, but I want to do it. There's a way of killing them by having an exploding golf ball. So you hit it and it'll explode. You can tamper with their parachutes. So you've set an alarm off, they go to jump off the building and their parachutes won't work. Stuff like that. Honestly, I have all the right intentions to try and do them all, because they all sound so cool. So cool. But obviously I know I won't get to all of them because I don't have time, because there's too many games coming out. But no, Hitman 3 is fantastic, and that's the 4th game that I've rolled credits on in the year of 2022. Forgotten City, Halo Infinite, which I started in 2021, but I beat it in 2022. Prey, and Hitman 3. All basically within January. I finished Hitman 3 on the 1st of February, but yeah, so I've already beaten 4 games this year, which is great. And yeah, that's what I've been playing. And then I guess what I'm going to be playing next is the Medium for the Part-Time Gamers Game Club. I want to carry on playing Hitman, but with Sifu coming out this week, I'm probably going to try and focus on the Medium, and then Sifu on Sunday. And yeah, Game Pass is just continuing to be incredible. I continue to keep playing it, and there's just so many games, and there's so many games still to come. And yeah, what a time to be a gamer at the moment. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've got time for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this Sony acquisition of Bungie. What do you think it means to Sony? What do you think it means to everyone else? Are you happy that Destiny will still be on Xbox? Or do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm wrong? I mean, no one actually knows until it happens, of course, with all these kind of things. Who do you think Sony's going to buy next? Do you think they'll do it this year, next year? Will it be Capcom, Konami, Square Enix? Who will it be? And yeah, if you've been playing along with the Part-Time Gamers Game Club, pray let me know what your thoughts were. What do you think of my review? Do you think I'm rubbish at reviewing games? I think I am, but I just love talking about games. That's also another point I wanted to just quickly shout out. I won't say her name, but there was someone who was watching our Twitch the other day who said that I sometimes get too excited and talk too fast. I just remembered that. So again, I am very sorry if I talk too fast at sometimes. I just get very passionate and very excited about games, and maybe I got a bit passionate on my review and just mumbled and talked a load of shit. But that's because I love the game and I love games in general. And yeah, but I will make a conscious effort to try and slow down and be less excitable. Maybe not less excitable, but I'll try and slow down my speech. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, leave comments down below. What have you been playing as well? Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe so you can be notified each week when these videos go live. And also, another shout out that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video. Maybe I'll do that next week, but I'll do it now anyway. A massive thank you to everyone who's followed us on TikTok. Our TikTok has kind of blown up over the last week. We've gone from like 10 followers to 360, so 350. So it's a massive thank you. And one of our TikToks has got almost 300,000 views, which I'm really, really happy about. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for your support on there and everywhere that you follow us. And if you don't follow us on there yet, go and follow us, because we've done some pretty cool TikToks, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next week.